So we humans, we do love diets because they put a framework around food that can be followed. And we see this a lot in diets that are telling you what not to eat. So a great example of that is the keto diet. This is a diet where you chop off a good section of things to eat, and a lot of it is around your carbohydrate-rich foods. Now, what we're talking about with carbohydrate-rich foods is the foods that give you the prime fuel for all sprint sports and for most team sports, all team sports actually, and then even for endurance sports as well. So we have this prime fuel carbohydrate, and then what keto is also telling you to chop off are protein-rich sources so that you don't have too much protein in a day, that you're coming out of what you want to be, which is in ketosis. So ketogenic diet, you have a really low amount of carbs coming in and a controlled amount of protein, and you're eating more fat. And so this diet is being touted even among the athletic community as a diet to try. And it was a fad diet of 2018. Now, the results that people are seeing are actually pretty poor because we have some good science showing that someone following a keto diet versus someone following a high carbohydrate diet, which is like eating all the Energizer category of foods, is actually the one following the Energizer, high rich in carbohydrate foods, is going to perform better. One great researcher, Louise Burke, has proven that. And we will happily share in our comments here the link to that research. So what we're saying in terms of the performance and the results that you're looking for, we would suggest staying away from the keto diet as an athlete. So that would be, one fad diet. Another fad diet we've seen in 2018 is intermittent fasting. So just the name itself, fasting, tells you what's going on here. We're cutting out all food. Can you believe that? So we're saying that we're going to be starving ourselves for different numbers of hours. There's all different versions of this diet. And as you can imagine, starving yourself may lead to some poor results, like hangry friends. We call these like hungry, angry friends. So poor mood control, that kind of thing. So we do know that there is some strategies around manipulating food called periodization. This is not the same thing at all. So in terms of what intermittent fasting is telling people, is that you're going to get some result, and the results always trend around you're going to decrease your body fat, right? So if that is what you want to decrease your body fat as an athlete, definitely choosing these diets is not the way to do it, because you're going to hurt your athletic performance, and we are going to be there to pick up the pieces. We have well-meaning advice as sports dietitians, so I say that because we here at Eat This for Performance are sports dietitians. We use science-backed information. However, as we just pointed out before, Sarah doesn't really want a list of advice. She wants a framework. She wanted a diet. So we gave her our framework. We gave her the 4-part Eat This for Performance framework, where we told you the exact foods to eat. All right, we have this in a nice list for you. We give you the foods. If you just eat these foods on this list, you will actually perform extremely well. You will manage your body composition extremely well. And so it'll get you a huge boost in confidence in selecting your foods for performance. So that is what we are talking about. When we talk about the diet trends, I want to introduce the diet trend of 2019 that we are going large with, which is promoting the 4P framework. The Eating for Performance diet is the future because it is something that you can sustain forever. Your parents can be on it, athletes can be on it, teams can be on this diet. It is simple to follow, and then in that way you are getting rid of all the complexity of just simple advice, and we are going through all of what you need to know to be confident in your food choices. So if that sounds like a diet that you would like to know about, that's what we're talking about here. So 2019, here we come, 4P diet trend. I predict it is the diet trend of the future. You will be the first one to know about it. So I'm going to share with you what the first step is in the ET4P framework here. So it's actually a question. And the first step question is to answer this. Okay, are you an excellent eater? And you may have an idea that comes to your mind right away. You may say one thing or the other right away. Most people start to mull that over because they're not exactly sure what it means, and they start to go towards the negative things they do in their diets. And so it brings up this awareness that maybe you aren't doing everything that you can be in your diet, and the framework addresses that. And so we dig into what are your strengths and what are your challenges in eating for performance, and that's where we start. The 4-part framework is to identify all your strengths and challenges so that you can be totally aware of what you need to work on within that framework to move forward and actually achieve results. Results that are lasting, that you fully understand with confidence what you need to put in your body. So in 2019, I do bring you this idea that we could go through this framework and follow along with us at Eat This for Performance as we walk you through this framework and make sure in small doses that you're able to follow along and do that and get to that result that you want. Because ultimately, a diet, is something that's temporary. Well, we're saying this diet is forever. And so we want you to forever be eating for performance. And when you eat with the results that you want in mind, then you will know you are eating for performance. So if your results are like keto or intermittent fasting, if your results are simply to lower body composition or to change your body fat, that may not be the result that is going to get you the highest performance in your sport. So if the result that you want is to have tons of energy for your sport, really achieve that high level of performance where you're kind of floating through, your focus is there, everything is coming easily, then that is what we're talking about in terms of like starting with those results in mind and then working through the framework after that. So go get those results in 2019. Really look into eating for performance.